Yes, we'll be on trips. Hello, Evola. Yeah, good to see you. Okay. All right. Sweet. Okay. There we go.
Hello.
Nice. Yo, what's up, Ramton?
Hi.
How's life, dude? Haven't seen you a bit. What's going on, dude?
Good. Yeah, I wanted to just join in. I feel like my schedule's been pretty hectic, but I
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
getting a little bit more stable now.
That's good.
So hopefully I'll try to, be back for a little bit more.
Oh yeah. No, things been good. We had like another 200 kids come in this in the last weekend.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, and then I'll catch you up. We'll do a whole like meeting and stuff. I need to catch you up on like everything that's been happening. There's so much in the Discord that's been going on in
Oh,
the last
sounds
couple weeks.
that's good to hear though.
Mm-hmm. There are a bunch of other math
Yeah.
streamers as well that we found. We found like there's kind of like this whole like consortium now of like math people on Twitch. That you'd probably be like super interested with. It starts getting into like higher level stuff that I don't get, but Hypatia understands it at least.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've been yeah, I would like to join back in. Yeah, I saw the notification for
Nice.
like the what's it called? The podcast
The
today, and I
podcast,
was like,
yeah.
I'll hop on and say hi maybe.
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure, Rimton.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice to meet you by the
Hi.
way. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, let me introduce. This is
Hi.
this is David Nguyen. He goes by username BommyBoy1. He's me, him, and Nico who is the Al Prince were one of the original people that came up with this whole idea for this Discord. So when did
Okay.
when did this start, Dave? Like when was this? Back in COVID, I think, right?
Like back in COVID. It was back
Yeah.
in COVID.
Yeah, and why did we do this again? I forget. We were just playing Warzone, and we just kept having kids like pop up on your stream. You're the original streamer. You're the original Twitch streamer.
So I originally started streaming just because I was like, hey, essentially once we kind of got backed into COVID, and I knew that we were gonna have all these like Zoom and Teams or whatever video calls. So it's like, all right, well, I mean, let's make it look good, right? So I got like equipment that I either already had or just purchased and kind of set up like a pretty good setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then since we were already playing kind of pod or whatever it was in the day, mostly just
Yeah.
Call of Duty
Yeah.
or Warzone, I was like, all right, well then let's just start streaming. And then that was my idea to kind of come up with like different bond coins and stuff.
The
to be
bond
like,
coins,
well,
yes, yeah.
if we got people coming on, like it'd be cool to have some way to like reward them. I think originally for me it was more to like get more people on as like followers or what have you.
Yes,
But then GAU stepped in and was like, oh well, this would be really cool to just get kids to learn, and then it kind of just stemmed out from there. So I think Gia's done a fantastic job of building out actual education in terms of the number of. I mean, I've seen the channel grow from 0, so it's
yeah. We used
amazing.
we had like 10 people in the Discord. Now we have like almost 1,500.
Yeah, so congrats on
finally
that.
got the-
And
Yeah.
We finally got the lore on the name Bond coin. I always wondered.
Yeah, people do wonder. They're like, what the fuck is this band coin thing? What does bond coin mean again? It means sandwich coin, right? Is that what it is?
banh mi is basically the like sandwich in Vietnamese. So
Yeah.
I just called it bond coin. I mean, like I said to Gio, you're more than welcome to change it to whatever other name.
No,
but
I kind of
think
like it.
bond
It's
coin
tradition
just
at this
sticks, so
point.
it's cool.
It's tradition at this point.
Yeah,
It's like,
it just sounds kind of cool. So those are basically the tokens to convert into gifts and other things. So I'm about it. It's dope.
yeah. We
Have
used
you
to have
never
the.
had banh mi? Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go on, Rampton.
Yeah, no, I was just asking if you've ever had banh mi before.
Oh,
Or
of course.
banh
He's Vietnamese. Like his
Yeah.
wife
Oh,
is
I
Vietnamese.
have.
No,
I'm
no,
Vietnamese, so.
no, not you. No, Gold. I meant you. If you.
Oh, have I ever? Yeah, I grew up. Some of my best friends, which I consider like my brothers, were Vietnamese. So like I was heavily inundated with like Vietnamese culture. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's too funny. Yeah, I am surrounded a lot by like, and then my one of my best friends in college, his name what was it? It was James Tontat. He was also Vietnamese. So throughout my life, I just keep having these Vietnamese people come into my life that like I share all these experiences with. It's kind of funny. I need the penultimate experience, Dave. I need to marry a Vietnamese woman or something. You know?
That's dope.
I mean, I've asked you to come with me to Vietnam multiple times now, so I'm next time.
Next time. Okay, cool. Here, let me start the stream. All right. Welcome everyone to the Golden Hour AMA podcast.
That's dope.
My name is Dr. Gold. This is Actual Education. I'm joined here with our special guest, David Nguyen, Bon Me Boy 1, one of the OGs in the streaming sphere. One of the OGs from our Discord. You don't stream very much anymore, right, Bon? Well, because he's got a crazy job now. We were just talking earlier, because we were gonna have this podcast I think 3 hours later, but Dave has to actually go out and scout a mansion for a Grammy weekend. Do you know what the Grammys are, Rampton? Do you know what the Grammys are? Or is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave, Dave will explain in a little bit everything he does, but Dave works a lot with partnerships in the music industry, and there's a big event he has to do this weekend for the Grammys. They have all these parties around this awards show, and he has to go scout out a mansion this afternoon for it. Because I was asking Dave, I was like, because originally we were going to do it at like 6 o'clock my time, but then Dave's like, oh, at 5 I called in for a last minute work thing, and I'm like, what? Who gets called in for work at 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon? Yo, fuck that. And then he's like, oh no, but I have to go scout out a mansion for like all these celebrities. I'm like, okay, well that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Wait, Gold, the grime you're talking about, is that the person with Elon Musk a while ago?
The Grammys?
No, not Grimes. Not Grimes.
Oh,
No, not
Grimes.
Grimes. The Grammys. The Grammys is like the musical awards for like
Yeah.
all
Oh,
like they'll
okay.
have different awards like top album or like top song or what have you. It's usually basically all of like the top musical artists will get there. But yeah, no, I think you guys will probably see details on it next week. We're just kind of keeping
Who
it under
wins?
wraps. But yeah,
Taylor Swift's on it, right? Taylor
we're
Swift's
doing, like, an
nominated
event.
for like 6 awards or something this year, right? Isn't she nominated for a bunch?
Check my Taylor Swift joke.
The Taylor Swift joke. You have to
Yeah.
explain that one. I don't get that one to me. I don't get that one, dude.
It's the Taylor series of the exponential function written in the Apple programming language called Swift.
It's called
The
Swift.
file name is taylor.swift.
Taylor.Swift. She's all over the news these days, man. Wait, is Taylor Swift coming to your party tomorrow, Dave? Dude, that would be dope. Oh wait, no, but no, that's next week. She's in Tokyo, right? Everyone's been doing this math of like,
she's kicking off her like Asian tour or something like that. I think she's in Tokyo and Singapore or
Yeah.
Hong Kong. I don't know, something like that.
exactly, yeah. She's not going to perform at the Grammys because she's at this tour in Tokyo. Yeah.
Whatever. The Grammys have become kind of a very big joke.
Yeah, I've
As
seen
is
this.
any other
Yeah.
as
I've,
is any other award ceremony at this point.
yeah, no one really goes to them. I've seen this funny meme of people trying to do the math on, if Taylor Swift leaves at this time and the plane goes this fast and it's this many miles, like what time does she arrive this? Like, wow, finally like math is coming back into my life. Like I have to do this.
I mean, didn't they do the same thing with like Elon, where like somebody built out like an app that tracked all his like private plane
Oh yeah, and then
travel?
yeah, and then he wanted the guy that did it wanted an internship at Tesla as like the bargaining chip for him to take it down.
Did he
It's
get
too
it?
funny. No, he didn't. He's
That's funny.
It was too funny. Yeah, because originally I think he was asking for like $200,000 to take down the Twitter. And Elon's like, yo, kid, I'll give you like 10 G's. And he's like, okay, how about you give me an internship at Tesla? I'll take that instead. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this
That's
is it.
funny.
This is the Taylor Swift thing. What the hell is this, dude? What? Okay. It's run package Taylor Swift, GitHub, Swift numerics. Yeah.
No, click on sources, like on the
What-
left upper side.
What you want me to
Left
click?
upper. Sources, that folder.
Oh, okay. Here we
Go
go.
down a little bit, sources.
Yes.
And then Taylor Swift.
Okay.
And then Taylor.Swift.
Taylor.Swift.
Yes, that's the one.
How do I run this? Does this do something, or is it just code you wrote Hepe shit?
Well, you need a Mac computer to run it, or a Linux
I see.
computer.
I'm on Windows. I'm on Windows right now.
Yeah, because it's Swift. Yeah, Swift is Mac.
Oh, that's funny. You know about
Yeah,
this?
well-
Is this something you know from your job? You know this stuff? I don't even know what Swift
Me?
is. Yeah. Do you know what Swift is?
No, Swift
it's
is
not-
Swift is the new code that, well, not new, but like relatively new, that like Apple came out with. That's like their programming language, right?
Oh, see,
Yeah,
wow.
as a theoretical computer scientist, I would say Swift is horribly designed. There are so many issues with it, and also Apple made a horrible choice to just keep it very closed, very
Wow.
enclosed.
Well, yeah, they put everything in their sandbox, dude. That's why they're getting yelled at for iMessage right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too funny. I learned something today. I had no clue what Swift was. Okay, cool. Let's go through. Yeah, because I know Dave's got to run off to this to scout out this mansion. So let's go through some of the questions the kids have asked. So here we go. Taco Cat's got the first one. He says, "How were you able to switch multiple jobs and land a job working at VinFast with music artists?" Yeah, wait. This is actually a good question. Like a good origin story of like how did you get your current job at VinFast?
Oh, that was easy. I just applied through LinkedIn. that was it, really. And then what's the context of this first part where
how were you able to switch multiple jobs? Because you've had many jobs, right? You've worked at a cannabis delivery company. You've worked for medical doctors. You originally worked at a patent office, right?
Yeah, so my background kind of stems multiple industries, but kind of still within tech, if you will. So
Yeah, right.
like my undergrad is in electrical engineering, so like right out of college or even like during and out of it, I was working at Intel, and I was in their mobile solutions department. So essentially, like a good example that I always give is like, because Intel has modems in a lot of phones, or at that time, yeah, I think right now it might be a little
It's
bit.
all Qualcomm, right? All the modems are
It's all
Qualcomm now.
Qualcomm.
Yeah.
It's all Qualcomm now, or other companies. Intel might have some, but probably not within like these main high-level phones that we have. But
Sure.
for instance, right? So like I would essentially just write test automation suites or test cases. One of them was called like block error rate. So like for instance, or other ones as well. But for instance, like on the signal bars that you see on your phone, right? That's basically representative of the signal strength in decibels.
Okay.
So essentially, like when you drive around the road or what have you, you'll see kind of cell phone towers like here and placed here and there and what have you. So what that test does, or what one of these tests does, is it basically you put it into a test box and you run it with like test equipment like Rodian Schwartz or Agilent or what have you, or HP or blah blah blah. And so it'll decrease ever so slightly or continuously decrease the signal strength in decibels until you see when it's cut. And essentially, the real world usage of that is so that you would know where to place cell phone towers, so that like
So you had the most coverage.
Driving.
That reminds me.
Correct.
You remember,
So, like,
you remember
if
like the Verizon guy who was like, "Can you hear me now?" This is such an old school ad, right? Where the guy would go around and be like, "Oh, can you hear me now?" Like, okay.
Yeah. So like for instance, like if you're driving to Vegas, you like constantly have good service or
Yeah.
what have you for the most part, right? And so your signal is essentially bouncing from tower to tower to tower.
Right.
So it's not like you go from 5 to 1 and then back up to 5 and then back to 1. Like it's all strategically placed through kind of the science or engineering. So anyways, after that I worked a little bit at the patent office at the government, so learned a little bit about patent law and trademark law, copyright law, all that. And then did a little bit more engineering, and then moved over to California. Oh, thank you.
Thanks for the gift of sub, dude. We hit our goal. We hit 10 subs this week. Wow.
Thank
you, Yamanka. That's dope.
Good job. And then after that, I moved over to California, where I worked with Al Prince on a cannabis delivery company or tech platform. So that was really cool in terms of just learning from kind of a startup perspective.
And that's where I met you.
Like
I met you because you came out to do that. You came out to California. You moved from the East Coast to the West Coast to work for a tech startup, right?
Well, no, we met in Ibiza.
We met in Ibiza, technically, yes, but we met.
Don't get it wrong.
Yeah, don't get it wrong.
I met you way before I moved to California. So
yes, but yeah. we you really like came out and hung out with us because you came out to California for the tech startup. Yeah.
Correct. So that was a really great experience in terms of just understanding, like from a startup perspective, like putting on different hats. And so like you have a little bit of marketing, you have a little business development, you have a little bit of finance and all these sort of things. And then after that, worked a little bit with a couple doctors who are investors, kind of doing.
Do you still work with the doctors? Do you still work with the doctors?
Not at this point. Maybe just like on like a consult advisory type of thing here
Sure,
and there, but
sure.
not in like a full-time piece. And then
VinFast
yeah, after
takes
that I
up all
switched
your
to
time right now.
so yeah, so VinFast, as I said, I just honestly applied through LinkedIn because I already knew of Vingroup and VinFast, but it
Uh-huh.
was really cool because I initially came in to do like partnerships and business development. So it's more in like the commercial and technical side of things.
Mhm.
And then after that, just funneled over to marketing because for us, once again, VinFast is very well known in Vietnam, but when you go into international regions, it is effectively kind of a startup, right? So nobody really knows about the brand. No one knows about the product. There's also like other brands like Honda, Toyota, Hyundai Group, all that already have
Yeah.
the brand legacy that we don't. So
But
effectively, a lot of
VinFast
my
is like a giant corporation. It they own so many things, right? They own houses in Vietnam, right? It's just
Vin Group is the conglomerate, and it's the
yeah.
largest one in Vietnam. It makes up about, I want to say, like 14 to 15% of the total national GDP.
Yeah, wow. Can you imagine like one
And we
company
have
just
like,
being like your whole GDP? It's nuts.
yeah, we got like amusement parks, we got resorts, we got private islands, we got schools, universities, we got AI companies, we got
Oh
commercial
my
shopping
god,
center.
dude,
We at
what?
one point we had our own like smartphone company. It's pretty crazy because everything
Dude,
there is
look
just
at all these ones they have,
been.
dude. They have like Vin Pearl,
And we got
Vin
hospitals
School,
too.
Vin Bus, dude. Vin
Yeah,
Commerce.
we got our own buses. We got cars. We got motorbikes. We got e-bikes. We got car. We got everything. It's pretty cool.
Wait, you said you were giving.
So
Is that the e-bike they're giving out at the event you're doing on Saturday? Are they
look it
giving
up.
out
Just look. Open up a new tab and just look up VinFast e-bike. It's called the
Vin
Dragonfly, I think.
e-bike? What?
VinFast e-bike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first link. It's like
Oh,
it looks
oh, it
kind of
looks
like a
like a
Super
Super
73.
70C. Yeah, this looks like a Super 73.
Pretty cool. But it's like more, I would say it's more refined because like Super 73s are more kind of on the rough edge, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, ours similar,
This is too funny. What?
more
They make
refined.
e-bikes too? What?
Yeah.
That's too funny. There's so
So
many things. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. Another question from Not Your Friend says, how have your skills from your early days as an electrical engineer shaped your journey through industries like VinFast? And also, how do you see technology, business, and innovation, the future of electric vehicles and sustainable transportation? Ooh, that's a good question. So I guess
give me 1 second.
you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah. So Dave started out as an electrical engineer, right, from UPenn. Is that what
Penn State.
Penn State. That's right. Yeah, Penn State. You have an electrical engineering degree, and so this is what I've been doing with this podcast is, I'm trying to show the kids and whatnot that getting education, getting a degree, going to college, doing all this stuff can open up so many other avenues for things to do in life, and you're working with like movie stars and crazy, musical artists, but you started out as an electrical engineer. So I guess Not Your Friend's asking, like, what skills did you get as an electrical engineer that have helped you out with what you're doing right now at VinFast?
So as an engineer, because obviously at VinFast the product is a vehicle, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
there's
a
obviously a
tech
lot of
thing.
engineering. Correct. It is essentially it is a technical product. So like I've also been on stints where I'll work with the engineering team as far as I guess the focus there is with regards to like any of the technical features that they have, right? So if you're thinking about a vehicle, like are we looking at improvements to the audio system, or are we looking at any sort of potential partnerships through infotainment, right? Like do we want to sign like Spotify, or do we want to sign iHeartRadio or what have you, right? All these different things will also revolve around
Sirius XM.
engineering. Right. So it'll either be hardware engineering or software engineering, right? Like for instance, like our cars will run on Android Automotive, right? So for any sort of like if we're gonna put in a YouTube app or like iHeartRadio or what have you, it always comes in as an APK.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
it's just you're just basically loading it in, and so you're working with all of the um, multiple cross-functional teams, right?
Companies.
UI,
Yep.
UX engineers, software developers, all that sort of stuff to make it work.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's definitely helped for sure
Nice.
with VinFast.
And then,
And then what is this?
he was asking, how do you see the future for like electric vehicles? You have a pre-order, right, on a Cybertruck still. Do you still have your pre-order for your Cybertruck?
I do have it, and they did reach out to me to get the foundation one, but it was like, this is too much.
Yeah, dude, it's like
Don't wanna-
it's like $90,000 or something.
100.
Like 100.
It's 100,000 for the long range, and it's like 120 for the Cyber Beast. But it's like the original price of what I signed up for was like 40 or 50,000. It's like over 100,000. I'll just go buy a G-Wagon.
Yeah, dude, 40K would have been nice. I love this. Elon always does this where he's like, oh, hey, yeah, this is going to be 40K, but then, yeah, we don't actually sell that model. You can't actually get that.
Well, it's not even that, but like if you read all the recent reviews on it, like the range isn't great, and like love the truck and stuff, but I think when you're getting to that level of price point, like the allure basically just runs off. Like it for me, it essentially becomes a question of like how much or how lonely am I that I need to like show off, right? But like because if you look inside the truck, I mean, I get that it is a truck, right? But
it's like a future space vehicle.
You don't really have the creature comforts. I mean, I'm still down to get one, just not.
Yeah,
at the
it looks like, it almost looks like you're like driving a refrigerator or something. Like what? This is a pretty ugly interior.
Cool. Like I'm not gonna knock it, but it's just very bare bones, which are like pretty much all Tesla vehicles, right? Like I think as far as, and to answer this question as well, so with regards to like future of EVs and like sustainable transportation, so it really, for me, and also being in the industry, the bulk of it essentially lies within self-driving, right? So right now we are essentially hovering around level 2 and level 3 autonomy, right? So like even if you see with like Tesla, you still have like you have full self-driving, but you still have to essentially like keep your hand on the wheel for like safety purposes and what have you, because essentially what it's doing is it's just all data and metrics, right? And so when you have edge cases of like drunk drivers or drivers like swerving in and out or what have you, right? Like that presents a very big issue. But I think as far as the future goes, once we encroach into level 4 and level 5 autonomy, where it is like actually
this is it. Level 4 is apparently fully autonomous. I didn't know there were different levels. This is cool. I get it. Yeah, fully autonomous in control areas.
You learn something.
I'm learning
every day,
today.
right?
Every day.
So exactly like this, right? So once you get to level 4 and level 5, the car just essentially becomes a box of just getting you from point A to point B. And where I guess I'll walk you through historically. So historically, where like ICE vehicles or internal combustion engine vehicles have come from is you have a separated, basically ECU, like basically the software and the hardware of the vehicle were separated, right? So like you have like the engine driving the drivetrain, blah blah blah, and then you kind of have just like the screen in the middle, just like driving some of the electronics, like the radio, or as it builds out, like other infotainment things, right? But right now, and kind of what's kind of happening as we speak is like they are basically blending into one another, right? So especially with EVs, there's no engine or anything like that. It's just motors, and everything is connected to kind of the central.
You're basically on a bus. You're basically on a
driving.
bus. Like you're just sitting on something, and the bus takes you places.
Well, yes, later on for sure, but for now, there's still kind of that integration between kind of software and hardware, and we're getting to this point where everything will just be integrated as software, right? So like in addition to actually moving the vehicle, you have now, like if you see with other cars, they have cameras all around, right? So like that's capturing all data, and it's known as telematic or telemetric data. As far as like working your driver score, like working any other sort of variable, so that you know, like
the Waymo cars.
Itself,
I've seen these on the road in LA. I know that they're mainly a San Francisco thing, but I've seen them in LA. Have you seen these before, Dave? The Waymo cars?
I've seen them. I mean, yeah, you see these, you see the Google Map cars, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Essentially, what it's effectively doing is mapping the road as data that you can drive autonomously.
Dude, they have a Waymo minivan, dude. Now what? That's cool.
Yeah.
I had a question as well, because
What's up, Ramson? What's your question?
I think this is more of a like design, I guess. So like I know that a lot of the times people, when they're talking about like these electric cars, most of the questions is like about navigation, or like if there's a child and then there's 9 other people who is hit or whatever.
Sure.
Like weird questions. But like in terms of like actually like practicality, like I know that there's a lot of like decisions that we make in driving that it's not necessarily like it's almost like it's not exclusive to driving itself. So for example, like let's say you go to like a public parking, right?
Sure.
And a lot of the times it happens that a lot of people would typically take the first floor to park their car,
Okay.
right? And then typically the higher floors tend to be like less busy, or like the further you are from the door, then the it's less
Yeah, the
likely that
classic
people will
Costco
park there.
idea of like, do I wait forever for a spot at the front, or I just like take something in the back like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
So then how would that work in terms of like designing a car? Like would they kind of like
Oh.
prioritize certain sort of decisions, like, you know, when you're, let's say, going to a mall, how does the car, given that it's fully autonomous, how would it decide where is it going to park?
Oh, that's
Like,
a
do,
good
do
idea.
you would it, I'm assuming it probably will have something like a preference list when you get the car. It's like, oh, like it's like a survey you have to fill out,
Yeah.
and then you're
How
almost
much
like
do you how
given
much do
your
you want to
car.
walk to Costco versus how much do you want to wait?
Yeah, but like there are
I mean,
smaller decisions, or like when you park somewhere, like how's it gonna park? Is it gonna go head in, or like,
Oh,
you
I see.
know,
I see.
butt
Yeah.
in, or I don't know, like would these be sort of things that they've already thought about, or are these gonna be like things that are mostly dictated by the passenger itself?
Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
so at this point, it's basically user input, right? So for instance, like full self driving can get you from point A to point B. But as far as like where you want to park exactly, like in a parking garage, or like if you want to go head in or head first, or back up or what have you, like those are still kind of options that the driver can choose, right? Like you can press a button for it to parallel park for you, what have you. Now, at what I mean, I think in the future, or what have you, it can just basically give you an option to essentially just state, hey, like just find me the first available parking spot, right? And then just kind of go into it that way. But yeah, I mean, it's all dependent on the software will drive you to do, and also just user input. But for now, I think obviously you can probably make it so that you can have like a fully autonomous option, but still user input is still available.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes. Oh, I mean, at some point they probably have, you know, they've done the data right where, you know, head-in parking leads to more accidents because when you're backing out, you can't see what the fuck you're doing, right, and you end up like hitting someone. So they would probably have it. Oh, we're gonna now prioritize this as like the way we park because there are less accidents.
Yeah. The other thing that I'll just say about like future of electric vehicles is that I know as far as EVs go, a lot of people will bring up kind of the term range anxiety, right? So
Yes, range anxiety.
EVs right now, there's basically multiple layers of this, and the main layer in terms of what most consumers see is just like from the OEM of like them just trying to sell you a car, right?
Yeah.
But the reality of it is like range anxiety is a topic that's basically sprung from logistics and infrastructure, right? So like obviously right now for like gas vehicles, you have you have gas stations at around every corner, right? So that basically serves as like kind of your energy or your juice to continue going, right? But as far as kind of electric charging outside of like Tesla, who's built a very good
Yeah, they
network,
have a huge network.
they
Yeah.
don't. Correct. So Tesla has done a very, very great job of it because they've essentially built the entire vertical integration, right? So they've built the product, they built the software, and they built kind of the infrastructure for charging. But the reality of it is like, yeah, like you'll see on the news, like for instance, like California, so you'll see I think it always changes, but I think the last update was like 2035 or something like that. Like OEMs can't sell gas vehicles anymore; it's just all EVs. That essentially goes hand in hand with essentially like how do you support the grid, right?
Right.
Because like for today, like if it was just a random day like today, and like everybody with gas cars just magically transform into EVs, like you would have rolling blackouts like instantaneously,
Yeah,
right?
we
And
don't have the
so
energy for it. We just don't have the grid. We don't have the plugs.
correct. So as people build out and build more EVs on a product and consumer level, government has to also and electric companies have to build out the infrastructure there, right? So I think right now, as far as EVs go, they are essentially the biggest um they're basically essentially the new iPhone, right? Because the with iPhones or any other tech product right now, you have updates every year. The main two things right now with EV is one, charging speed, right? Because right now it's still hovering around, even with like level 2 chargers where you're charging at like what, call it 200 to 250 kilowatt
Yeah.
hours or whatever it is. You're still anticipating a charge time of like 30 to 40 minutes or what have
Yeah,
you.
it's
right?
not a
And you'll
gas
get
station
load
where you just roll
balancing.
up and 5 minutes later you have enough gas to like go wherever. Yeah, you still got to wait 20, 30
Correct.
minutes.
Correct. And then you have to be faced with like lower charging speeds with like EVgo and like other places. Then you'll have load balancing as well if there's like a lot of people taking up all the spots. So
Yeah.
in reality, it's the charging speed at which it can essentially accept, right? So that you're just playing with kind of whatever it is, the voltage, amperage, wattage, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of that, and then also the battery capacity as well, right? I think over time those two things will be there, and so it's kind of everybody's got to get together, and so that's why like you see metropolitan cities like New York and LA and stuff and California like really have that because that infrastructure is there. Whereas if you go like in the middle mid east
Kansas or something.
of like the US, like point A to point B is so much further that it just doesn't, quite honestly, just doesn't make sense at now, right? And then like you will see like even in Europe, like you'll have like BP stations that also have like gas and electric, right? And so when you build that out and you slowly start building that out, like we'll kind of meet in the middle, probably call it in like 5 to 10 years or what have you, where like EVs are truly like workable, right? And there's no hurdles in terms of like the purchasing decision.
I didn't see this EVgo. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Do you think there would be like something like the power cord that there is for phones that you can like? It's almost like something you can like charge pre-hand and then just carry it with yourself or something like that.
That from an engineering perspective is just at least at this point, no, because like that's why like you'll see some very thin cables and you'll see some very thick cables, right? It's the gauge
current,
of the cables, because like if you were to blast like 100 kilowatt hours through an iPhone cable, one, that's not even possible. Two, it would just blow up.
That's
so
true.
like
You'd melt it.
That's the whole thing too. That's why like if you ever do like handiwork on your house, like and you're looking at like doing like electrical work, like there's all those different gauges, right? Like from like 5 to 10 to 12, 16 and stuff like that, because it needs to also support that type of electricity, the amount that's
our battery
through.
tech is also like super old, Rampton. Like the advancements we've made in battery technology have not kept up with the advancements we've made in everything else. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest things we need to like work on. It comes down to like a basic like chemistry question. It's like batteries are it's physics at the end of the day is what it is. To store energy and release energy, it's we haven't really come very far since lithium ion. I think is like it was the biggest breakthrough we had, and that's why we have phones.
I know
and
there's
stuff.
the research.
It's really because of it. Yeah, I was just about to say that. So it is also consumer driven as well, right? Because like companies, once they're doing like all the research and stuff, they will obviously want to milk as much profit that they can out of it before moving to another product, right? So we went from like nickel cadmine to like lithium ion, and then now there's graphene and stuff like that. So they just basically, because on a more business standpoint, a lot of these companies will have like multi-year contracts with these vendors, and so like you'll basically see this being practiced in real life, right? Like for instance, like Apple is a very, very good instigator of this because like they just milk their design for like years over years over years, right? They're just basically getting to a point of ROI for profit, and then they're just, I mean, Apple is a great case in terms of just blasting right past that, right? Like the iPhone that they make today is costing them like a fraction of whatever it was when this design first came out. So
it's too funny. Soar's on the Twitch, dude. Soar. I haven't seen Soar in forever, dude. But Soar came on because you're here, Bond. He said, "Are we playing Rebirth after this?" Yeah, Soar's on Twitch. Soar's thing. Soar's one of our OG students that joined our Discord. I think Soar's probably like partially the reason we started all this, because Soar kept finding Bon on his Twitch stream playing Warzone, and eventually we were like, okay, Soar, but like, how are you doing in school? Because you spent a lot of hours playing with us. Like, how's school going, dude? That's too funny. Yeah. All right. I think that kind of asks. We had Evoli. That was kind of your question, right? She was saying like, how soon do you think electricity will replace gas? And you said what, 2035 is when there's this like arbitrary deadline that car makers can't make gas engines anymore, right? We have to go electric.
Well, that's just California.
Oh, that's just California.
And the
Okay.
rule is well, I think it's probably other states as well, but they might differ. But I don't know. I mean, it changes all the time. But uh, that rule or that mandate is basically like
It's a
companies
percentage of
cannot
it.
sell. Like
Cannot
new
sell.
cars cannot
Yep.
be sold. But like
Right.
it's not like there's a cut date. Like, oh shit, like now I gotta go take this car into like a dumpster, or like
Yeah,
a
we gotta get
junkyard
rid
or
of it.
something. Like, yeah. And then I'm sure as time goes on, I mean, there's already companies doing it, but I'm sure as time goes on, there will be more and more companies to do like conversions, right?
Yeah.
But I
Resto
think
mod.
at a certain time, correct. But at a certain time, it's like, what are we doing here, right? Because those
Yeah.
costs can also be astronomical, and like as we get more and more EVs out there, they're going to become more and more cheaper, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, there's an option for everybody at this point.
Nice. Okay. Let's another question from Jamarcus here. He says, "What is your most memorable experience you have working with a big artist? You've worked with some pretty cool people, right? Like J Balvin and who's the other guy? The guy from Maroon 5, right? What's his name? Adam Levine.
I've worked with like Maroon 5, Katy Perry, J
Katy
Balvin,
Perry? You
Charlie
moved with Katy
Puth.
Perry? Do you got a picture of you with Katy Perry? Do we have you? Do you have a picture with you with Katy Perry?
I gotta find it because like as part of
No,
all
it's
these
okay.
deals, there's always like a meet and greet with it. I have a picture of me with Maroon 5.
Oh, really?
They're
Oh,
really
that's dope.
cool.
Maroon 5 is cool?
The memorable Maroon 5 is definitely very cool. So it's yeah, like because we brought them over because here's another thing. So in addition to everything that we do at Vin, one of the other cooler things that I've done at VinFast is essentially just start up an entire music festival from scratch.
Yes.
So like,
dude.
yeah, if you go up on YouTube and you just type in 8 Wonder,
What's it called?
all
8
one,
Wonder?
and then 8 Wonder, and
Okay.
then type in 8 Wonder Maroon 5 and stuff. You'll see it.
This is
Or, like,
this is
yeah,
this is the this is the fest this is the thing you did? Was this?
Yeah, so this is like my project.
Dude, they
So
love doing this in
essentially,
Asia, dude. The fucking the was it the sticks? They like they wave the sticks at.
Yeah. So we just kicked this off in 2023. So it's like project lead and continue to be because we'll do more of it this year as well. The goal of this is basically to tell the story kind of to the rest of the world by bringing like Western artists, and we'll have our own local acts as well.
Yeah.
On this. But yeah, I'm kind of the person managing the artists here.
Oh, wow.
Which is very interesting in terms of like hospitality writers, production writers, building out the stage, the lighting plots, like all that fun stuff. So very cool. It's a lot of work though, for sure. But it's very, very fun. So I guess one of the experiences here, which is really funny, is because and Maroon 5 loves Vietnam. They love Vin Pearl. They kind of love what we were doing there. But
Cool.
it's really funny because as part of like Vietnamese or Asian culture, there's like paparazzi everywhere. And so
okay.
the one day after we did like sound check, we were all eating together. Adam Levine couldn't make it because he's more private, so he was just back at his villa. But I was eating with like all the other guys, like PJ, and I forget all the other guys' name, James or whatever.
The other 4 of Maroon 5.
James, PJ, yeah, and then James Valentine's, the one with the long hair, the guitarist. And so there was this post online. It was funny because like our CMO sent it to me. It's like, yeah, so they were putting this caption in Vietnamese, and they're like, oh yeah, like check out the Maroon 5 band, like eating dinner. But I had a picture of just me and James, and so like they thought I was one of the members.
Oh, I think Trang posted this at some point. She put it on her Facebook or something.
Yeah, she did. It was so funny because like I didn't even fucking check, but like our team was checking it. They sent that to me, and I was like, this is funny. And then there was like 10 other posts around it too. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. I guess I'm the fucking hype man or guitarist or whatever there.
Shabarka says, will this become Maroon 6? Are you the 6th member of Maroon 5, dude? New member?
Sure. Yeah, so that's always fun. It's always fun. There's definitely some people that are interesting, but all in all, it's been a very fun experience. So if you guys ever make it out to Vietnam, we plan on doing the festival 2 to 3 times a year. So
wow, most memorable experiences. He almost became the Maroon 6. Nice.
I recently saw like this it was like this Christmas movie with Ed Helms in it.
Yeah.
And he was like the dad of this he's like plays the dad with his kids and everything, and the whole theme of the movie is like they swap bodies or whatever. And like at the end of the movie he's supposed to like play in a band, and they swap back to his original, and then one of the friends that dad's friends tells his son, he's like, he used to be part of this group and he like gave it all up to like raise his kids. And it was like, what was the name of the group? It was like, I don't know, something 6. And then he like asked his dad later. It was like, it was Maroon 6. It was like, there's no Maroon 6, it's Maroon 5. It was like, yeah, because I left.
Oh wow.
So when you made that joke, I was like,
That's too funny. That relates to it. Oh my god. Let me see some other quick ones. 'Cause I know you gotta run real quick here. Let's see. Someone was asking me. Okay. Someone says, where was it? Okay, what are some of your best advice to someone who's going into high school next year and wants to be more in the engineering department? Do you have any regrets in high school? If so, what are they?
No real regrets.
No regrets. I say like no regrets.
High school for me was. I mean, it was kind of different because I grew up in like Pennsylvania, so I was like one out of like 4 Asian kids there. So I think it would have been a little different. I grew up like here, but anyways, I mean, it was fun for me. I think as far as like if you want to be in like the engineering department, definitely. I mean, engineering is very broad, right? Like it depends on like what I think. The first and foremost is like think about what you have a passion for. I know it sounds like really cheesy, right?
Yeah, right.
But like for instance, like if you're gonna dive into engineering, there's like mechanical engineering, there's civil engineering, there's electrical engineering, there's computer engineering, software engineering, all these sort of things. I would say if it was like if you could just snap a finger and become an engineer right now, I would definitely say kind of like more like comp sci or like software engineering would probably be the
computer
better
science
bet
is all the
there.
rage.
Because of like kind of AI and like blockchain and all that fun stuff that's coming out. But at the same time, like even for me, because I think for engineering, it's always good to have kind of a business in parallel as well, because with engineering, I think with a lot of positions or companies, you can kind of get into the spot where you can potentially hit what you would call a glass ceiling, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of get bogged down with a lot of just like purely engineering
Busy work, like
right?
you're
Like
just doing this. Yeah.
Right, and you don't want to get stuck in kind of that you don't want to get stuck into that kind of like Jira driven or like Scrum or Agile or whatever. So like if you want to get out of it, I think like it's always good to take those skills and kind of like I mean it depends, right? If you're happy with engineering, there's nothing wrong about it. If you want to start your own company, that's great. I think having some of those business aspect skills to it as well. So like for me, my undergrad is in engineering, but I also have an MBA as well to kind of.
Oh yeah. You just got your MBA, right? You got that last year. That was actually very cool.
Yeah, so
very cool.
It's just a good way to it's a good way to basically kind of put what I've learned on the ground or like on my own through like startups and what have you, and put a more kind of theoretical piece to it. But ultimately it depends on kind of what you want to do and kind of what makes you happy, right? I think it's a lot of people will say it, but I think a few will take it to heart is like really do kind of what you're passionate about, and then also be open to the opportunities as well, right? Because if you kind of get boxed into it, I think it can work both ways, right? Like if you feel and there's no rhyme or reason or wrong way or what have you, like if you feel more comfortable kind of being in like one path, then like really hone that skill. Or like if you feel yourself having like multiple different passions or like kind of like a breaking point for some like this or that or what have you, then like be open to it. And then I would definitely say is like just really be open to like networking, right?
Networking,
like,
yeah.
just,
A
like,
lot of
never
what you
know
do
who
is networking.
you'll
Your
meet
whole
or-
job is networking right now, right? That's what you have to do this afternoon. You have to go network.
Well, not this afternoon, tomorrow maybe, but
tomorrow,
you'll be there as well. So, but yeah, I think it's also dependent as well because like everybody comes from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and we don't have to get too much into detail with that, but it just depends on kind of really just up to you to kind of shape your future. But I would just say, like, if you're going into high school, just to bring it back home here for this question, you want to be in engineering department. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do in school as far as like electives or what have you. But then, like, with the way that technology is here today, I mean, even like through geo, right? Like, there's so many different alternative paths for you to just learn outside of school, right? Where school is kind of that theoretical foundational piece to it, and then as you move outside, I mean, look at the I mean, it's so stupid, but like look at look at how many people are making like millions on million hand over fist, like just literally on like social media, right?
Yeah.
And like you can
Influencers.
take that and yeah, so like it's once again kind of like feeling what you're passionate about, because like if you're not really passionate about something, or like if you can really stand up for it and just like think of it as a job, like I think there's a definite kind of meet in the middle point where you can kind of come to fruition to have a very successful path. So
Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah, I tell the kids to do robotics is what I say. I say like I did robotics in high school, and that was kind of my like taking my passion for math and science, but then applying it towards something that was like practical. This is me. I think I was 11 years old in this picture, like on a robotics team. Little Geo.
I'll just add something also.
What's up, Ramton? Yeah, what's up?
I think it was already kind of mentioned, but just to kind of add something a little bit to it is just I think it's not necessarily for engineering, but because I wasn't engineering, I was like in science, but I think whether you're going into something technical or whether non-technical stuff, you're gonna have to kind of learn a lot of new stuff, and kind of learning new skills is going to be something that like it is something that if you get good at, then you can end up thriving a lot when you go into the job market. Because like, you know, a lot of the times people that when it comes to like school, I know a lot of people like pretty much memorize information, or they just want to learn whatever is
just want to get the whatever the best grade is, but it doesn't like apply to what they're doing like in work.
But I think the art of like learning something new, and then kind of just like knowing your strengths and like playing around those, but then also kind of being able to like learn new stuff is like something that would definitely come in the most handy when it comes to the job market. And if you're good at learning new stuff, then, you know, obviously school's going to be a lot easier for you as well. Like rather than trying to like, you know, pound through it and force everything to try to like
just
memorize or anything. Kind of just like getting that groove of learning new stuff by just essentially having that skill comes a lot
to learn new things. Yeah, no, for sure. Bond, real quick. Soar's asking, what high school did you go to? Because I think you both are from Pennsylvania, right? What's that?
Conestoga Valley.
Conestoga Valley? Wow, what is that? Okay. Yeah. Y'all are both from Pennsylvania. Let me see. You tell me, Dave.
It's funny here. So many names in US also have like kind of equivalent in Canada, because like where I went to school, there was also a Conestoga right next to it. So
they're all probably like tribal names, right? Like Indian reservations or something, right?
Could be, yeah. Conestoga College. That's the one.
College.
That's the one.
I went to Conestoga Valley High School.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, see, like when you Google that the one near me came up actually.
Oh, wait. I've heard about this Conestoga College. Is this the one that got blacklisted by all the companies? Yeah, because they you can probably speak to this, right? Because you're also like an immigrant that came into Canada, and we have a lot of actually people in our Discord who came from other countries. I think Canada has a very nice, generous visa policy, but yeah, this college got blacklisted from companies with job applications because it's a bunch of people from India who kept just like submitting the same resume.
Not to like, you know, go too deep into it, but essentially the whole thing is like the Conestoga College, especially during the pandemic, they started to accept a lot more students than they should have because nobody was coming.
They needed money. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, and they like their, you know, normal capacity, whatever it is, they ended up accepting like 3-4 times that amount.
Oh wow.
And then because Canada, one of the Canada pretty much once you graduate from college, you automatically are eligible to apply for a work permit,
Mm-hmm.
which you can start to work here. And like because they were going over capacity and they wanted to have people accepted and everything, they started introducing a bunch of like random garbage, like the programs as well,
Sure.
right? Like I don't know, like Taylor Swift studies or something like
Taylor
that.
Swift
Right?
studies.
And instead of 4-year programs, they made it like 2-year programs so that people could get in, get out. They're just
Sure.
making most amount of money and everything. And yeah, once the pandemic was over, it kind of started to be really an issue because that's kind of like that college is in the same city that I went to,
Yeah.
university too. But like, so there is just issue with housing. Like students are coming to like college and everything, and they're sleeping in tents. Right?
Yeah.
In Canada, it gets like -20 and
Yeah, dude, that's not good. You'll
so
die.
people are like sleeping in tents. The public transport is a nightmare and everything. And then they started to apply to jobs, and then essentially they were sending like billions of like they were sending like 50 copies of the resume
Yeah.
to people.
And it's the same resume,
and
but it's just like slightly like ChatGPT difference. Yeah.
yeah, and then they would like once in a while they would get an interview, and then the interviewer would try to talk to them. They could barely speak English.
Oh
right?
no, dude.
And so then this was actually there was a Reddit post about like Conestoga College. It was like I'm an employer and I've blacklisted Conestoga, and it kind of there was a troll version of it that kept going on for like a month in the Waterloo Reddit.
Okay.
The U Waterloo Reddit is just wild, and in case you ever want to get a good laugh, just go there. But pretty much the first one was like I'm an employer, I've blacklisted.
Yeah, this post got removed. I think this one got like too much heat because the post they removed it.
You guys did this to yourself, right?
Yeah,
and then
right.
People started to be like, I'm a student, I've blacklisted Conestoga College, you guys did this to yourself. And then it was like, I'm God, I've blacklisted Conestoga. and then it would be like, I'm blacklist, I've hired Conestoga College.
It becomes a whole meme.
It just kept going for like a month. Like every day there was like a new post.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
Like, yeah, Waterloo Reddit is like insanely wild. But yeah, that's what it is. I don't
that's funny.
That's too off track.
No, it's okay. That's a whole throwback. That's a throwback. Okay. Let's see. Dave, when do you have to go? You tell me when you got to go.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah, he's also Dave. So Dave works some crazy hours because he also his main team is in Vietnam, and I'll be it'll be like 11 o'clock at night or something, and Dave's like, yeah, I gotta hop on a meeting right now. I'm like, what? Excuse me, what? So he's up at like some crazy times. Yeah. Oh man. Ramton, what are you doing actually? Just a little side tip. What are you doing now for jobs and stuff? I know last we talked you were thinking about maybe going like back to grad school or something, right? To do math.
Honestly, I think I'm still thinking about it, but a huge aspect of me wanting to go back to grad school was so that I will get some sort of an education so that I can continue in that field.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized, unfortunately, like the world of physics and math, unfortunately, it's not the job market for it, like sucks a lot.
Yeah, the job market is terrible right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't mind, like, my idea was like, oh, I don't need to be making like massive amount of money as long as I can afford, basic living things and all that stuff. But I feel like it's become so bad that like you can't even afford the basic living things.
Yeah, you can't even afford rent, dude.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of put that on the back pedal. I don't know if I do go to grad school at some point, it would be for personal interest.
Sure.
I don't think it would be necessarily for like a job. I'm looking into like getting certificates or stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm trying to maybe go towards the direction of maybe like finance or like
Fintech.
quantitative analysis.
You're gonna be a quant. You're gonna go to the dark side, Rampton. You're gonna go to the quantitative. Be a
yeah,
quant.
and then I was like, you know what? You have to choose your dark side. You either be homeless or work for.
Jamarcus says this is highly concerning to my hopes of getting a job in math or physics.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the thing. But at least by the time they go into university, there would be
things will probably have changed.
Yeah, they can make some adjustments and everything. But I'm still trying to also do something on my own, like with the math teaching and everything. And maybe I'll talk to you about those stuff. I'll also send you my resume sometime.
Yes, that's good. Let's get you a website, Rampton.
But yeah, I also got back into just new things with me. It's like I got back into Muay Thai, so I started teaching Muay Thai also. So I'm also doing that on the side, like a few times a week.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Moog says, "Do we want a school tour?" Yeah, Moog, maybe not on the podcast, but yeah, don't dox us with your school. Yeah.
Oh.
Moog does this thing where he'll just show a video of here's my house, here's this. I'm like, don't do that on the stream, please. Oh man. Okay, let me see. Yeah, Dave. You tell me when you have to go, and then I'll wrap the stream up. You're good. I know he's very busy today with the Grammys and everything. It's crazy. Let's see. There you go. So, Dr. Gold, did you end up finding the post thing? What post thing, Jamarcus? What were you talking about? Which one? One sec. Which thing? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, not yet. I still gotta find it.
We should do a podcast with sports now that I'm so into.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. So, I wanted to get. So for this week, I wanted our special guest. One of our special guests I want to get on one of these weeks coming up. Is my friend Alex. He was a professional soccer player in Poland, and I think that would be cool to interview, get some opinions on what it means to be in pro sports. Yeah, touching grass, exactly, guys. Yeah. We should make a podcast about the Third Reich. Y'all chill, dude. God damn it.
Yeah, I realize there's a lot more. There's so much politics going on.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, that around the whole.
There's a whole Taylor Swift thing. The whole Taylor Swift thing with the NFL is that's a whole other rabbit hole you can get into.
I don't know what's going on with that one.
Oh, it's just because Taylor Swift is dating one of the it's the tight end from the Chiefs. His name is Travis Kelce, and so Taylor Swift has a massive following. They call them Swifties, and because she's dating this football player, now the NFL has started getting a ton more viewers on their games because all these people are buying tickets or tuning in not to watch football, but to see Taylor Swift at the football game. And the people, the real football fans are fucking pissed off at this because the cameras will keep panning over to Taylor Swift all the time. And they're like, wait, we're here to watch football, not Taylor Swift. Like, what?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But she's made a ton of money for the NFL. One sec. I remember seeing the value. Was it Taylor Swift money NFL? One sec. It's on the news here somewhere. Yeah, she's generating a lot of free advertising cash for the NFL. I think someone had $331 million
she's doing for NFL what Kardashians couldn't do for NBA.
Exactly. Well, yeah, the Kardashians just ended up dating all of them and then ruining their lives.
Yeah, Kardashians just ruined careers.
They just ruined careers, dude. Yeah, was it Lamar Odom?
Odom went from one of the most prospect players to overdose.
He overdosed in in a whorehouse in Vegas or something. You're like, God damn, dude. The curse of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is at least a more or less nice, wholesome person. But yeah, she's there's a huge thing.
When they break up, there's gonna be a sick album.
There's gonna be a sick album. Yeah, she always writes great music when she breaks up with people. But yeah, that's becoming a whole thing. So now there's a whole politics even within just the NFL of you're either with Taylor Swift or you hate Taylor Swift, and then it also tends to align with political preferences. It's interesting how it all lines up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. All right, Dave. Let me. Do you have to go, Dave? You got to go. I can wrap stuff up now. One sec. You're muted. Oh, he's on a
Said
call.
I can do one quick question and I gotta bounce.
Okay, all good. All right, let's see. Let's do one last question, then we'll wrap up the podcast. Yeah, I know you got a busy weekend. Let's see. Okay. Someone says, "What's the biggest piece of advice you can give to a teenager aspiring to either become a big name in industry or work for one? Work for a big name in the industry." Yeah. What's your advice?
Well, I mean, going back to what else I was saying as well in terms of networking, right? I think everybody comes from like different walks of life, right?
Yeah.
And like I would just definitely say leverage your network.
Leverage the network.
If there's
Okay.
a possibility there. Like for instance, right? Like for me,
How did you
just
leverage
like
your network?
out of
Yeah.
well, I mean, for me, it's mostly through work, right?
Mhm.
So like out of the blue, almost like in a snap of a finger, I now have contacts at like AEG, UTA, CAA, like Universal, Warner,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Paramount, Sony Music, all these sort of things because it is due to my work, right? So I would say, I mean, bluntly, right? Like if you have connections through like friends or family, definitely leverage those because that, I mean, I would think of it this way, right? Like um if you are someone who's well connected, right? Like for instance, like say my uncle was like VP of marketing at Universal Music, right?
Sure.
Like for me to get to a spot that like someone else would have to like sit in a state with like no connections or what have you, right? Like
Yeah.
physical state and also kind of like network state to like have to build up a network of like millions upon millions of subscribers to get someone to notice,
Yeah.
right? Like that's a very very clear advantage or disadvantage the way that you look at it, right?
Okay.
And so like leverage your network or like if you or like get into a job that like allows you to network with those types of people, like for instance, right? Like you're trying to become a big name in the industry or like work for one or what have you, like I don't know, like as silly as it sounds, become a YouTuber, right? Because there's all those conventions, right? Like there's
Yeah.
like what is it, like YouTube.com or Video VidCon or
TwitchCon.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like
StreamCon. Yeah.
TwitchCon, all these sort of things. Like leverage those as like networking events because like on every side of these events, you're gonna have like talent, but you're also gonna have on the flip side of it, you're gonna have the executives or basically people in the industry, like management agents, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother conversation in terms of just being careful within that type of network as well to make sure you're not like getting taken advantage or what have you, but like if
Yeah.
you're trying to make like kind of an expiring name for yourself, then like I mean there's multiple paths to do it, but you just have to really kind of grind at it and kind of take a look at what you have readily available and what you need to do
I see. Okay. So yeah, for kids who
to
like
get
don't have
to
a
it.
network, like try to put yourself out there or something to get some eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Source
But
says
yeah.
Source says we should play COD sometime. Bon.
Mm.
That's I don't think you've even played the new Warzone.
I have not. Well, I played with you last time. That's about it.
Yeah, that was Warzone 2. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Yeah. Okay,
If you
cool.
want to hit your life, play Tarkov.
Yeah, Tarkov. Oh my god. Yeah. That's one. Yeah, finals. Yeah, we do like the finals. Sor says he got his PS5. Yeah,
All right.
Sor, get the finals. All right, cool. Let's wrap out the
Finally.
podcast. Or did you want to say something, Dave?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So again, thank you everyone for coming to the podcast today. I know we were a little bit earlier than usual. Big thanks to Dave for giving us an insight into EVs and music industry and all that stuff. It's cool. We're gonna have our next stream. That's gonna be on Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's where you can get help with your homework. And if you found us here on Twitch, join the Discord. There's the exclamation there. Oh, and then we gotta I gotta give a prize out, Dave, to someone who asked the best question. What was your favorite question that someone asked?
Let me see here.
Yeah.
I like the one. I mean, I either like the last one or the
Okay.
one about high school. So you pick between
Okay.
those two.
Okay. I think that was For Reason or who's the high school one? Oh, Jarbefus. Yeah. Okay. 1 sec. Let me just real quick. Okay, so let me do picker wheel. So yeah, that was Jarbifus's question. He asked about high school or for reason. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're spin. Who gets it? Oh, Soar, dude, that's a classic, dude. Soar exclamation point here. Wow. Nice, for reason. You won. Congrats.
That's dope.
All right.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you coming by. Maybe I'll see you this
Yeah,
weekend.
nice to meet you.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you guys on the stream on Monday. Good to hear from you too, Ramton, dude.